Hi, my name is Pastor Blair Ecker of Pine Mountain Gospel Church, and also I am the principal of Foothills Christian Academy, both of which live within this building. The little backstory that most of you probably know, especially the alumni, is that in the early 90s, Backus consolidated schools with Pine River and took the high school down the road 9 miles. Followed a few years later by the elementary school, and this building then was empty until 2009 when Pine Mountain Gospel Church purchased it. Now, as a pastor of this huge building, it's a visionary. I'm called a visionary. It's like having a blank canvas, and now the task is having the manpower, having the finances, and also the visions to fill this building back up to its former glory. See, these small communities in rural areas, their identity is found in their school. And so when this school was taken or ripped out of Backus, the town lost its community and has truly suffered since, and I think that's one of the primary reasons, is losing the school. So now here we are years later, and we're starting to, again, feel the pulse of having this heart back into the community. The school's been operating, this will be its 4th year, and the parking lot is full almost on a daily basis, which is just exciting to see. And I'm going to take you on a tour and kind of show you what we're using currently and what we're using it for, and then take you on to what we want to grow into in our visionary use for the building also. Occupying the largest building in all of Backus for a church with a congregation of between 40 and 70 was a little ridiculous, so the pressure was on to fill the spots, and it was a practical decision to start a Christian school, which is a huge undertaking. But over the course of about 18 months, a year and a half, God just supplied all the characters we needed. A lot of men and women both with a lot of school and Christian school experience, and we formed a school board. And as I said, we're now in our 4th year, and we're expecting between 35 and 40 students for this upcoming school year. We've got pre-K actually through 12. It was exciting this spring to have a graduation. It was just a soul walker, a girl graduated, and the significance of that was it was this community's first graduation in almost 30 years, so it was really exciting, and there was a large turnout. You know, our sports teams are called the Foothills Christian Academy Backus Wolverines, so that brings a lot of spectators out. You see a lot of Backus Wolverine leather jackets on some gray-haired men and women, just proud to be back in the gymnasium that they played in high school. So we're receiving just a lot of community support, and a lot of people excited that the building has a pulse back to it. And as I said before, our goal is just to continue to grow not only the school, not only the church, but what else can we use the building for? Recently, we just acquired the land of where the ball field and the skating rink was, and again, for the first time in over a decade, the school's property is consolidated under sole ownership again. The land came up for sale, and it was between us and a building developer who wanted to develop it, and we just even though we weren't in a great financial situation, not yet ready to make these large purchases, we just knew it was a no-brainer, so we were able to purchase that land. We've got a thrift store that occupies the old choir room end of things, the old boiler room, choir room, some of the practice rooms. The thrift store, all the proceeds of the thrift store go to meet tuition needs of the students at the school. And it was a slow start, but it's grown every year. The thrift store is just a few months older than the school is, open year-round, and it's been fun to watch that grow. The thrift store itself has become a ministry to the community. We've been able to help families that are in need, families that have undergone a crisis such as a fire or something and lost all their belongings. And now it took a while to kind of break even on the thrift store, but now we've crossed that threshold, and there's money coming in, so that's really exciting. The store, check it out. It's open Tuesday through Saturday. Our future visions for the remainder of the building that's currently unoccupied. We've before the church bought it in 2009, a lot of the equipment was stripped out. The kitchen for the cafeteria was completely gutted. It's our goal to restore that kitchen and the cafeteria to its former glory. Also, there's a community meal held weekly in Backus, a free meal that anybody can come to and participate in. And we would like to get that moved. It's currently at the senior center, and we're working on some grants and to move that into the cafeteria and the kitchen here at the old school. So we've been working on that. We're working on the locker rooms. The locker rooms have been used for the past 4 years with our sporting teams. We only have one locker room. We just divided it in the center with a wall. But another goal we have is to get the showers remodeled, back up and running. Not only for the sports teams, but Backus underwent a pretty severe storm in about, and I can't remember if it was 2014 or 2015, and it knocked the power out to the entire community except for the school because our power was serviced by Minnesota Power coming from the other direction. So we were the only building in town to have power, and nobody had power, nobody had running water. It was for days, for over a week. And I just thought, what a blessing it would have been to the community if we had showers, if we had washers and dryers set up. And all those showers would obviously be used for the sporting teams. Students would have access to those showers. We've something that's happened in the past was a family's home froze up in the depth of winter, and they had no water, and we could have offered the showers to that family. So our most pressing concern at this time is to get that shower room back up and running. Okay, so after the kitchen and cafeteria, just moving throughout the building, the second floor, kind of our vision for the second floor is to get some businesses moved in there. We're not using any of that portion of the building, but the bones are good. The roof is good. Some windows got cracked out, but some minor cosmetic damage from not being heated, some paint peeling, some floors buckling, but some pretty minor stuff. But to turn that second floor into a business park, get these businesses moving in, it would create a better economy in Backus, some employment. We could use those businesses for students at our high school to intern in to learn a trade skill. One of the questions is why any business would relocate to Backus. Backus is in a hub zone, which comes into play with any state or federal contracts. It's a hub zone. Preference points within the state of Minnesota, I think, is a 6% advantage, and the federal government does things a little differently, and I think 5% of all purchases that the federal government makes need to be from a business located within a hub zone, and hub zones are few and far between, but Backus is one of them. So that is just a big advantage that comes right to mind here for reasons to relocate. An internship, a workforce. Backus has a high unemployment rate. People that want to get to work. The internships with students, as I said, and not only high school students interning. That leads us into the vision for the third floor. Vision for the third floor is to have a Bible school, and that is, we would like to be equipping missionaries to go out into the world. And what would set us apart, our vision, is we want more self-sustainable missionaries that have a trade. And these students can be interning on the second floor at these businesses, learning a trade that they're going to put into effect in the mission field. So, and God is, every step of this way, God is supplying businessmen, God is supplying potential professors at our Bible college, and all of these things. And of course, it's going to take some money. It's going to take money for these projects, the roof, and just the aesthetic repairs that need to be done. We have the space. That's a lot of my pastor friends envy that I and this vision and my church and this school, we have all this space to grow into, and usually the problem is just the opposite. And as I said, it's a good structure. It's got a good roof on it. It just needs a little polishing. It's sat empty for a number of years. So like I stated, just a blank canvas, and that's exciting, and I hope you can get caught up in this vision to turn this town around, this town that had its heart ripped out of it, 30 years ago, and has just been under this gloom and darkness ever since. Well, we're starting to see this light re-emerge, and we're starting to see Backus for not what it is, but for what it could be again. So I hope you get on board and you can get excited about this. Thank you.